Hi, Cecilia. Can everyone see me now? Hi, everyone. Welcome to Visabe Academy's workshop. I'm trying to look into YouTube to see how many more persons we have and if we should wait for a while before starting. Okay, so we have almost 100 persons and we can actually begin. How do I share my screen? Okay, so we have almost 100 persons and we can actually. Girl, shut up. One second so I can share my screen and we're going to begin. But in the meantime, give me 2 more minutes. I'll be right back. I saw share screen just now. Yeah, please confirm if you can see my screen because I was told that the screen has started sharing. So confirm if you can see it. Can you guys see my screen now? Okay. So first of all, I want to welcome you all to join to Visabe Academy's workshop. We host this workshop just once a year, and it's very nice that you decided to join us. We're going to discuss exactly how to start your remote work journey, and then we're going to move into different sections like why have you been getting rejected in the remote workspace? Like, why do you keep getting rejections upon rejections every single time you're applying to that job? Just turn on my camera. So, first thing first, you're obviously here because you need a change. You're here because you want something to actually change in your tech life. And before we proceed, let's talk a little about Visavi Academy. I just hope that the screen is still sharing because I'm sharing my slide right now and I want to confirm that you guys can actually see it. So please let me know in the comments if you can see the screen or if you have issues seeing it before I proceed. At least we should have people that are following us. Okay, great. So, what is Visavi Academy about? Visavi Academy is a training platform built for one purpose: helping people build digital skills to qualify them for full time remote employment. So, that is our goal. You know, a vocational school just have one purpose in mind. It's either a vocational school is designed to teach you how to get your hair done, teach you makeup, teach you. There are different reasons vocational schools exist, and Visavi exists because we are trying to train Africans or even people worldwide on how they can actually be employable in the remote space. A lot of people actually send me a DM on platform like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I want to work remotely. I want to work remotely. And when we actually take a look on, when we take a look at the skills they have, like what skill do you have that you want to use it to work remotely, they start saying things like, oh, I studied microbiology, I studied accounting. There are most skills that are not transferable to the tech space. Okay, there are some skills that you can transfer to the tech space, and there are some skills that you can't use in the tech space. You actually have to learn an actual tech skill that you can use to work for different companies. And Visavi Academy, we handle that. Now, let's talk about why this workshop exists. Everyone is talking about remote jobs, but very few people are actually getting hired. A lot of people are going, you might see a lot of content. I see a lot of content on my social media talking about remote work here and there, but very few persons are talking about how you can actually get hired. Now, there's a myth, right? The problem is not that there are lack of jobs. The problem is that a lot of people lack positioning and direction. Most rejections actually come from poor positioning, not lack of opportunity. You need to understand that if you see a job posting and you apply to that job posting and you don't get that job, it means that there's someone out there that have gotten the job. So you cannot say it's that there are no jobs. It's that there's a reason why they chose someone and they did not choose you for the role. So before you jump into conclusion and say, oh, this tech, there's no job in tech, there's no job in tech. Have you ever sat down to ask yourself, all these jobs that I've been applying for that they did not pick me, who have they been picking? That's the right word you need. That's the right question you need to ask yourself. And that explains why I said it is not lack of opportunities, but lack of positioning. And tonight we're going to show you how to change that and start getting interviews. So, what are you going to walk away with in this session? Number one, you're going to walk away with an idea on the right beginner skill, the remote skill that is actually hiring beginners in 2026. Zero experience strategy, how to position yourself without a work history. Rejection decoder, why most applications fail and how to avoid it. And you're also going to walk away with your immediate action plan, practical steps you can take the moment this session ends. That is exactly what you're going to walk away when this session ends. Now, how is this workshop that is happening today? How is it going to run? First of all, we are going to talk about choosing the right remote skill. Then we're going to talk about positioning yourself for remote jobs. And part three, we're going to talk about why most people get rejected. So you just need to understand that there are three sections, and that's exactly what you're going to be learning today. And then we're going to close this workshop with a live Q&A that is going to bring your questions about skills, rejections, and getting started. So you are going to ask questions at the end of the section. So if you know that you're an inquisitive type, just wait until we are done so you can ask your questions. Now let's talk about the truth about remote job rejections. So most people think remote job means that they are not qualified enough. Oh, I'm not qualified enough. But the truth is that qualified people also get rejected every day. The real culprit is almost always fixable, because you might be thinking, oh, maybe it's because I'm not really good at this, that's why I'm not getting a job. But do you know, if you sit down with highly experienced persons and they tell you this is how many rejections I got a day, you would be surprised, or a month. Like I posted on LinkedIn a certain time the amount of rejections I've gotten myself as a remote worker, and people could not believe it. I'm like, why is this unbelievable? There are so many. You guys don't know the struggle that other people out there are doing to actually find remote jobs. Like it's a lot of work to actually find these remote jobs. Now, number one reason is wrong skill choice. For some people apply for roles that don't match their strength or market demands. One second, I'm distracted. Okay, that's better. Some people apply for roles that don't match their strength or market demands. Then we have number two, which is poor positioning. Whether you're on LinkedIn, you're on Upwork, you're posting on Twitter, looking for a job on Twitter, some people, your profile does not clearly show what problem you solve. You might just be online telling people, oh, I'm a virtual assistant. I'm a virtual assistant. Virtual assistant in what? Virtual assistant doing what? That's exactly the question that most people need to answer. You're a virtual assistant doing exactly what? You have a very poor positioning. Then we have lack of clarity, which is the generic application that would literally belong to anyone. You will want to apply to a job, and the first thing on your mind is, let me use this application method that I used for this other job posting and apply for this one. Some people would want to apply for, let's use customer service for example. You're a customer service representative, and the first customer service job posting you saw said they need someone that can handle email, live chat, and phone call. The next thing you say, let me apply for it, and you write an application strategy cover letter all for that. And before you know, you see another job posting that says they need someone that can handle only email. You go on and you use the application strategy you use for the first job posting, even the things they mentioned in their job posting, you copy that and you put here. The thing you're doing is that hiring managers will read your cover letter and they will say this person used a different application letter for this, because they can definitely tell what they put in their job posting and what they did not put. So when you do generic application, anyone would tell. Even I myself, I've worked as a HRO for different companies and I can clearly tell that this is a generic application. Now let's talk about high demand beginner skills in 2020. Number one, we have, like I said, not all skills are equal in the remote job market. We have entry level roles that consistently hire beginners that know how to position themselves. So if you're a beginner and you don't know which particular skill you need to go into, then these are some options I'm going to give to you. There's someone who told me on my Instagram recently, and she was like, I'm currently learning data analysis. And I asked her, why are you learning this skill? Do you have any passion for it? She said, no. I said, then why are you learning it? Some people go into tech because of the trend in tech. You don't go into tech because you actually want to learn, you have passion to learn anything. For example, if you're choosing a course in university, when you were children and they asked us, what do you want to be in the future? Someone would say, I want to be a doctor. This one would say, I want to be a pilot. And some people carry that dream all the way into university. So if you want to go into tech, you also have to have that same dream, that same ambition in you. Like, this is what I want to be. This is who I want to be. You can say, if you say, I want to be a data analyst, there's nothing that's going to make you not determined. But when you learn something because everyone is doing it, you're not going to be passionate about it. You're not even going to be interested in it. That's one thing that kills a lot of persons and make them unsuccessful in this space. First thing first, before you want to go into tech, you have to start looking for something you're passionate about, something that if someone calls you in the future, you'll be proud to say, yes, this is my career. Now, we have some options like virtual assistant, we have customer support, we have social media management slash social media marketing. These three courses up here, they don't require you to do any amount of coding at all. If you're someone who is maybe a mom, all these people that really don't want to stress themselves because they have too much already going on in their lives, you don't need to go and start struggling to do a coding program if you know you don't have the capacity to take it. These are three options that you can dive into. Okay. Then we have AI engineering and we have cloud computing. These are skills that are for people that actually want to go into coding. If you want to go into coding, then these are the skills that you need to learn. AI engineering, let's talk about virtual assistant first. This includes admin support, scheduling appointments, email management. And for customer support, that just think about a business and think, what is the first stand of a business? It's a customer. A business will not survive without a customer, meaning that without a customer support, there's no way a business will survive because they need you to handle customers. And as a customer support, these are the skills you need to learn, live chat, email, and phone support roles. Then we have people who are interested in social media management, social media marketing. Social media is a very big space. We have more than half the world population on social media right now. And if you want to work for any business at all, we even have businesses in the old that never cared about social media. All of them now have social media pages. Businesses like Mercedes Benz now have so many social media pages. But back then, they did not deal with social media. We have businesses like McDonald's. All of them are now on social media. So there's no way as a social media manager that you're going to lack opportunity, except you don't know how to position yourself. Because we even have small business owners who are using social media as a storefront. If you check the internet today, we have more business pages than we have actual personal pages, because everyone is trying to make money off social media. And as a social media manager with right positioning, you definitely know how to pitch yourself. Now over to, okay, so for social media management, you have to do content scheduling, community engagement. Then for social media marketing, we have art, we have strategy, and we have brand growth. Now we have AI engineering. AI engineering is something that is trendy right now. The future has become so technical that right now everyone is literally using AI. Just input your thoughts into AI and you'll see them generating notes for you. For example, this note that I'm currently reading, it was a note that I imputed into AI. You can literally see it here and it says made with Gamma. All I had to do was write my notes on what I was going to teach you guys, and I put it in Gamma and I said, help me turn this into a beautiful slide that would be easy for beginners. And you can see the images it used, something that will make your attention span focus. So these are some things that people are into these days, which is AI engineering. For AI engineers, you need coding for this, but we have tech tools that can actually help you. But if you really want to go into this, then you have to be ready and willing to learn how to code. You need to learn how to do designs, builds, and you're going to train intelligent system that can learn from data. System like chatbot, recommendation systems, automation systems. For example, ChatGPT was created by an AI engineer. Gamma was created by an AI engineer. Who knows what you, as someone who decide that you want to go and learn AI engineering, who knows what you're capable of creating? During the time you're going to be taking a training with any institute that teaches AI engineering, you'll keep having ideas and you keep having visions on what you're capable of doing. That is the kind of thing that skills do to people. For example, if you say, oh, I want to go and learn makeup today, when you go to learn makeup, you start having different ideas like, oh, this makeup, I can start selling lip gloss. I can start selling only blush kits. I can start, that's exactly how skills work as well. When you go to learn a skill, you start getting different visions or different things that you can actually do. Now, let's talk about the last one, which is cloud computing. Cloud computing is when you're going to manage and maintain online infrastructure where apps, data, and systems are stored and they run like AWS, Google Cloud. Google Cloud, we have servers, we have database. So these two are programs that you actually have to code. And we have these three that are non-coding programs. So it depends on you and your vibe and what you're willing to go on and learn. Okay, this is a duplicated page. Now let's talk about how you can pick the right skill for you. First of all, if you want to pick any tech skill at all, you have to start asking yourself questions like interest. What do you enjoy doing? What do I enjoy doing? What is something that if I'm doing, I'm not going to feel tired of doing it? Do you enjoy making phone calls? Do you enjoy emailing? Do you enjoy organizing different things? For me, example, if I don't have anything doing, I just turn on my computer and I start typing stories on Google Documents. That's to tell you how much I love writing. I used to write and own a blog, and because of that, I still have the passion for it. So, what is something that you actually enjoy doing that you can do even without being paid for it, but you just do it for the fun of it? Now, after you've thought about that, the next thing you want to think about is the strength. What is something that comes naturally to you? And lastly, you want to think about market demand. What companies are hiring for? What are they hiring for right now? You can decide that you want to go and learn something and nobody wants to hire for that position. So before you choose your all of these things, before you choose, before when you pick your interest and you pick your strength, and the last thing you want to do is the market demand, because this is very important. While always like telling people to try to monetize their hobby, you need to also check that your hobby is monetizable. So you don't go and monetize something that nobody is willing to buy. Now, there are some mistakes that already lead to rejection, which we are going to talk about more in the next slide, which is chasing trends blindly. I've already spoken about chasing trends blindly, where someone said she wanted to be a data analyst, and I'm like, what made you choose that field? And she had nothing to say. When I was offering her consultation, I said, what drove you into picking that field? And she literally said, my friend, my cousin, and it was like, okay, you just chose a trend blindly. A lot of persons pick a skill because it's popular. They don't even understand what the role actually involves. Before you say I want to take any program, or before you say I want to, you need to research what does this role involve. You like the name of the role, okay? You love hearing AI engineering, but you don't even know what it involves. You need to go and check it first before you take that skill. Another thing that leads to rejection is applying before you're ready. Some people don't have the basic skills, some people don't have the basic foundation, no CV, no portfolio, no experience at all, and they jump into applying for roles and they come back with, I'm getting rejections. Now we have the copy pasting your CV, generic applications that you're going to use for A, you now go and use it for B, which is actually really bad. We have Lastly, we have no clear direction. Some people don't have a clear direction. They are trying to be everything to everyone instead of owning one clear skill. You alone, you learned social media management. Now you've jumped that you want to go and learn data analysis, you want to go and learn cloud computing. You What you're doing is that you have no clear direction. You want to pick something and be a master on that thing. Even if you're sleeping and someone tap you and they ask you questions, you'll be able to answer the questions. Like I said, the notes that I used for this particular training, I wrote it under 24 hours. That was yesterday. That was the only time I had time to write these notes down and send it to AI for image and everything. So that's how good it has been when I decided to master the art of working remotely. When you master something, people would be able to see the value in you. But when you're jumping from one thing to the other, you will have no experience, nothing at all to show for it, because your mind is already going to be clouded with so many things and nothing at the same time. Now we're going to talk about your next steps before I move into the next slide. Number one, I hope you're writing this down because this is very important. You want to pick one skill, choose from today's list, and commit to it fully. You either want to be a virtual assistant, you either want to be someone who's working in maybe any highly tech field that need coding, or you want to pick one skill you can choose from today's list and commit to it. Number two, you want to start learning the basics. Use free and paid resources, but focus on doing and not just watching. If you're the type of person that you're learning and you say, I want to go on YouTube and learn something, and then you finish watching the YouTube video, you delete that one and enter another video to keep watching, and you keep watching like that, you're not going to learn anything. That's the truth. Some people be like, oh, I learned this on YouTube, but I don't know it. I learned that on YouTube. The reason why you learn that way is because you're only watching the videos, but you're not actually doing anything behind it. If you want to watch a video on YouTube, you want to implement. When you watch a training video on YouTube and they tell you pick one skill, the first thing you want to do is write it down, pick one skill, and go and start looking for a skill. The next thing, you come back to the basics. That's how to actually learn. Now, the third thing is practice with real tools. You want to get hands on. Theory alone is not going to help you get hired. You need to get hands on. Then we have build small project. When you start practicing with real tools, that is going to help you to build projects. Because when you practice with Zoom, you practice with Slack, you're going to take screenshots of that and use it as proof of your skill before you apply to jobs, and you can also add it to your portfolio. And lastly, it is start positioning yourself. So you want to update your profile, craft your story, and show up consistently. Before I move to the next section, if you have any questions, before I move to the next section, talking about why you keep getting rejected and how to fix that. If you have any question, please ask. Cecilia, is this still my time? Please let me know. Okay, so Cecilia said it's not my time right now, that the next speaker is coming in. So when she comes in and she's done, that's when we are going to get into the mistakes that lead to rejection and why you keep getting rejected and how to fix that, okay? So if there's anything you're going to actually take, a summary that you're going to take from what I discussed today, it is these three things, which is picking the right skill for you. You can take a screenshot of this if you want. We also have mistakes that lead to rejection. You can take a screenshot of this. And lastly, we have your next step and what you need to know starting today. So I'm going to come up later again and we are going to talk about why you keep getting rejected and how to fix that. I will also talk about how to actually get a remote job in 90 days. Okay, so I'm just going to take a break now and I'll see you guys later.
Hi everyone, good evening. Hi everyone, good evening. And my name is Kiki Blessing, and I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for joining Visavi Academy tonight, and I promise you that you are going to have an amazing time here. We are going to have conversations that are going to elevate your remote work, right? Okay, so I think earlier this week, someone sent me a message online, and the person said, "Oh, hi Kiki, I want to get a remote job. I need your help in getting a remote job." And I asked that person, "Oh, what skill do you render?" And I think that's the misconception that a lot of us still have. Some people think that remote work itself is the actual job, which is not the actual job. So remote job is just like you having a vocational skill, like a carpenter, a tailor having their own skill. The only difference right now is that these skills that you have, they are online skills. You can use them online. You don't have to work in a physical location. You don't have to work in an office before you can practice or before you can render your skills and your services, right? And I hope we are following along. Hope we are following along. Oh, all right. Thank you. Okay, so today I will be talking about tools that every beginner remote worker must know, like tools that are very essential for you to know to use in order to make your remote work journey, in order to make it very very smooth, and in order for you to be able to maneuver your way, like find your way around things, right? Okay, Cecilia, you can go ahead to move to the next slide. Okay, so I'll just go ahead. Okay, so before we start, remote companies don't just hire talent. They need someone that can work smoothly online, and it's just this way. When you have an interview with someone or you have an interview with a company that wants to hire you, right? One of the things that they are looking at is they are looking, aside from you being very skilled at your job or the services that you render, they are looking at your personality, how you vibe. Is this person the kind of person that we can work with? Is this person going to be able to understand the kind of tools that we make use of? And that is why they ask that, oh, do you know how to make use of these tools? Do you know how to make use of these tools? So it's a different thing for you to learn a particular skill and know how to render them, right? But it's also a different thing for you to also be able to know the things that you need to know. So they want to look at how professional you look, how organized you seem, and how easy you have to work with. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is we are going to be talking about our communication tools. And the first thing here, what we're talking about today is Zoom and Google Meet. I think Zoom is a very popular platform. Every one of us know what Zoom platform is. But at the same time, I think the problem that majority of us have is that we are familiar with a particular platform. We are familiar with a particular tool because we've used it before, probably while we were in school. We've used certain tools before we were in school, right? And then because we are familiar with it, we do not take time to now understand that tool in a deeper way. We don't take time to, okay, say, oh, let me even go on YouTube and see other things that Zoom can do. Well, I think we've seen instances of people joining a meeting online, and then just because they know that, oh, Zoom is a platform that I can use to join a meeting, then all of a sudden you are asked to share your slide or share your screen, then you don't know how to share your screen. And that's because you just assume that, oh, Zoom is a tool that, oh, it's very easy for me to navigate. So you want to know and understand that any tool that you're using, you have to understand that tool. So Zoom is a very popular platform, like I said, and Google Meet is also a very popular platform. So you use Zoom for your interviews, use it for your team meetings, and then you also want to understand how to turn on and turn off your cameras. You want to understand how to share your screen, like I've said earlier, and you also want to understand how to like record meetings. And also, I would also advise that you make use of these extensions. We have Otter AI. So what Otter AI does for you, it's an extension that you can add on Google Chrome. So what it does for you is that it records your conversations. So let's say you have an interview with a client or with a recruiting manager. So you want to connect this Otter AI to Google Meet or to Zoom, and then you want to so Otaya is going to give you a summary of what was discussed in that meeting. So you can always play back. You can always read through the questions that you were asked, how you were able to answer those questions, and in that way you'll be able to figure out, oh, my this recruiter manager asked me this question and I think I kind of messed up. You'll be able to remember, because there are times that you might not remember everything you said in that meeting or in that interview, or even when you get a job and you have a meeting with your company, your team members. There are times that you might not remember everything that was discussed in details, right? But once you have a review, like a summary, you can be able to like fish out some point that, oh, this and this was discussed in that meeting, right? And also one other communication tool that is also very important is Slack. So I want you to see Slack as WhatsApp. So Slack is a tool that team members use in communicating, because as a remote worker, you are not working in a physical location. You're not working in an office, right? So that means you cannot just show up to someone and ask them questions. You also need an organized space where everybody can talk about things, where you can ask your team members questions or talk to them. So Slack is like WhatsApp, but WhatsApp is you can talk to your friends, you can talk to your family members and everything, right? But Slack is an official platform that you make use of. And the next tools that I would also be talking about is tax management tools, right? So tax management tools, these are tools that you need to actually get the work done. So the first slides earlier, we talked about communication tools. These are things that will aid your conversation. But for tax management tools, these are the tools that will now help you to get the work done. Now, the first one is we have Trello. So on Trello is a tax management tools that your manager or your director of quality control or your project manager, they use in assigning tasks to you. So let's say you're a social media manager, and you manage your client's accounts. Or I think a very good example to use in this instance is, if let's say you're a content writer and you are required to write, let's say, about 5 blogs in a week, right? So you see the tasks assigned to you that, okay, on your to-do list for this week, these are the tasks that you have to do. Now, so when you click on the to-do list, the task that was assigned to you, then when you start working on it, you move it to in progress. But these things, I'm just like explaining it for you to be familiar with them. I would also suggest that you go on YouTube. YouTube is a platform that I recommend for everyone. I think YouTube is a platform that you can use to learn anything aside from medicine and law, I guess, right? But YouTube, we are going to get to see how to make use of these platforms. And another one is ClickUp. So ClickUp is a tool that people, organizations also use in order to manage team members, put team members together. So you see that, oh, when I do this task, then the next person will be able to do this task. So you see the number of days you are required for you to turn over a particular task. And then you know that, oh, if I do not finish my task on, let's say the deadline is on Tuesday, if I do not finish up my task on Tuesday, that means that the person that is meant to start the next phase on Wednesday, I'm going to be delaying that person, right? And then the next tool we have is also Asana. Asana is just like ClickUp and Trello, but Asana is more complex, right? You get to do more things on Asana. And then the last thing that we'll be talking about under task management tools is Notion. So Notion is not just for communication tools. Now, companies use Notion for SOPs, documents, client documents. Notion is quite more, it's a two-in-one tool. Beyond just task management tools, companies also add in their clients inside Notion. So they use it for content planning, they use it for notes, they use it for personal organization. There are even, I don't know if any of us have tried to get a freebie from a creator online, like all those videos that, oh, comments send and I'll send it to you. So Notion is a tool that a lot of people, even creators, even use for them to upload some certain documents for you to have access to. So it's not just for tax management tools alone. So Notion is quite much more complex than Asana, ClickUp, and Trello. And like I said earlier, because you know the name of these tools, or because you are able to do certain things on these tools, does not mean that you know how to use them efficiently. So you still need to learn how to use these tools in order to aid your work, right? And then the next thing we'll be talking about is file sharing tools. So for file sharing tools, we have Google Drive and we have Dropbox. Now, I think Google Drive is a very popular file sharing tools, and I'm not always going to be assuming, right? So Google Drive is a tool that you use to share your files. Let's say a company, they ask you to send in your email, you send your email to them, and it's a place where you can access most of your companies or anybody you want to work with. That's where they upload their files, their documents. So let's say you are a video editor and you need to edit clients' videos. Most companies, most marketing agencies, they make use of Google Drive. So you can access the videos that you need to edit. You upload from Google Drive, and then you edit them, and then you upload them back on the drive. So we have different folders. You can organize folders. You can collaborate with other team members in Google Drive. So even if you have a one-on-one client that you want to work with, you can create a folder for each client on Google Drive. And also, Google Drive helps you to save space a lot. So let's say you are making use of a 64 gig storage, because I think that's like a problem that a lot of us can relate to, right? You're making use of a 64 gig storage and it's really, really, really stressing you out, right? So what you want to do is you can upload some of your files on Google Drive and then you delete them on your phone. So you can also have storage, right? And then the next one is Dropbox. So Dropbox is also quite popular, but I think it's not as popular as Google Drive, because Google Drive, if you are using your Gmail, then you most likely have heard about Google Drive or you've seen it online. So Dropbox is also used to upload large files like video or your content work. Dropbox does the same work that a Google Drive also use, right? So you might work with agencies that they do not make use of Google Drive alone. They also make use of Dropbox. So these two file sharing tools, they are tools that are very essential, and you also want to learn how to make use of them effectively. Are we still following along? Are we still following along? Oh, okay. We are here. Thank you so much. Now, the next thing we are going to is we have our scheduling tools, and right here we have Google Calendar, right? So Google Calendar is a scheduling tool that you use to just schedule your meetings, add reminders, manage availability. So you want to, if you're a social media manager, you probably know how to make use of scheduling tools, or you must know how to make use of a scheduling tool, right? So let's say you need a particular post to be up, or let's say you have a meeting. Oh, just the same way we are having a meeting right now, right? And you do not want to miss this meeting, this vis-a-vis academic meeting. Because I'm very sure that there are some people that they might miss this meeting, and it's not because they intended to. It was just because, oh, they do know that there is a meeting today, but they most likely forgot. So if you schedule that particular task that you have inside Google Calendar, so Google Calendar reminds you. You can set a reminder for an hour to the meeting, or 30 minutes before the meeting, so you get reminders. So when you make use of Google Calendar, it helps you make sure that you always put things in place. It check out your time zone. It also ensures that you show up early to a meeting. So let's say for a company that you are in, you have meetings every Wednesdays, or you have meetings every Thursdays. You want to make use of your Google Calendar to make sure that you input a particular time. Let's say on Thursdays, you have meetings from 10 a.m. in the morning to 12 p.m. in the afternoon, right? So you want to input this, and then automatically every Thursdays you get notifications. Even like, you get notifications 30 minutes or even 1 hour before the meeting, so you are always on time, right? And we can see that all these things are tools that you need as a beginner. So let's move to the next slide. Now, we've already discussed tools that are essential for you to know how to make use of as a remote work, right? As a remote worker, as a beginner that is trying to find his or her foot, right? Now, the next thing we are going to be talking about is how to build a portfolio without experience. Now, I know that you are a beginner, and for you to be able to make use of these tools that we are talking about, you need to be able to. That means you have somewhere that you want to work in, and we know how difficult it can also be for you as a beginner, because, oh, this person is a beginner. Do I trust this person? And you are trying to convince someone to work with you. Oh, I just finished learning this skill. I'm very good at what I do, and you're just trying to convince them over and over again. So these are some of the things that you can do as someone who is a beginner that do not have so many experience. You don't have proof of work, right? So the thing is, you do not need to get paid. You do not need paid work for that. So you just need proof. You just need to show them an evidence that I can do this. It's good for you to say that, oh, I learned something with your mouth and everything. But some of the time, most of the time, people want to see. They want to see that you can actually do this beyond just telling them that you can do it, right? So the first thing you want to do is start with sample projects. So I also call sample projects like passion projects. So let's say you are a graphic designer, right? You can you can come up with an idea. So let's say you can try to recreate a project for Coca-Cola, recreate a design for Coca-Cola. Or I think this design, or look at what Coca-Cola is doing, their social media designs, what they are putting on, or what can I do? How can I redesign this in a better way, right? You can also reach out to business owners that you know around you that need designs. What can I design for them? How can I help them, right? And then the second one is mock client stacks. So mock client stacks is just like mock-ups. So reaching out to people that are like potential clients or people that you would love to work with. So let's say you are currently learning, you just finished learning social media management, right? You can create a mock-up design of how your client's social media feed, their Instagram feed and their TikTok feed, what is going to look like if you allow me work with you. I think that your page is a little bit so, oh, for a fashion brand, your page is not supposed to look this disorganized, right? So this is how your page is going to look like. These are the strategies that I think is going to work. These are some of the things that your competitors are doing and they are working. These are the things that your competitors are not doing. These are the things that you are not doing. So you are trying to sell yourself, but in a way that you are showing them. So you can also come up with brands that they are not real. Yes, you can come up with brands that are not real. So let's say you can come up with just a business name, a business idea. Oh, this is this product or the service that this particular person is selling, and this is what I would do for that person if I get to work with that person as a social media manager. And you see that this way you are already having, through these ways, you're already having proof of work, things that you've done, right? And then we have strategic free work for testimonials. And this is something that a lot of beginners are doing, but they are not doing it right. So I've had a couple of people send me emails that, oh, I would love to work with you for free for a week as a virtual assistant. And most times they just send in generic emails. I've I had an experience of someone sending me an email that the person did not even edit that email after generating the cover and everything on ChatGPT. The person even forgot to include her name, his or her name, because I don't even know if it was a guy or a girl. So now, if you want to reach out to someone that you want to work for them for a week for free, right? You also want to do it in such a way that it is convincing. You know that if this person should work with me for a week, hope this person is not just coming here to come and disrupt my system or my mode of working, right? And then you want to make sure that when you eventually now get an opportunity to work with these people for a week, you want to do that work so well. Don't do the work in a way that, oh, I'm not getting paid for it, right? You want to remember that the motive behind this thing is that you're also trying to make sure that after that, just maybe a week of offering them free service, they might retain you, they might like your service. You're a virtual assistant, you reached out to an influencer, you were able to organize our tags, our events, content calendars, our schedule. You were able to do all these things effectively and efficiently. You were able to make this person's life easier in just 1 week. They might just, oh, this is even if I am not going to be retaining this person because I cannot afford to pay their fees, or I have someone that is doing this for me, it will not be bad for me to also give out recommendations to recommend this person, that this person is very, very good at what they do, right? And then the next thing we want to do is Canva portfolio PDFs. Now, this PowerPoint presentation that I'm showing you was done on Canva. So I've been saying, oh, you can do passion projects, you can put it together, passion sample project. I want to organize it some way, I want to put it together and everything. But how do I get to do that in such a way that it looks very beautiful? So Canva is a tool that you can make use of. We have free versions of portfolio or sample projects that you can make use of on Canva, right? But the thing with Canva now is that now for you to have access to premium things, you have to be willing to also pay premium fee. I think Canva subscription for a month costs about 5,500 naira, and there are some people that might not be able to afford 5,500 naira, but you can always pair with a friend. Let's say two friends, you guys can pay 2,500 naira, 2,500 naira. Two people can split it, and then every month you pay for a pro subscription fee, right? For you to now have access to ready-made templates that all you just have to do is you just edit them, you change the colors, you change the fonts to fit in the kind of things that you want. So aside from wanting to get free things, you must also be willing to pay a price. If you're willing to pay a price for something, then definitely you get premium things, whatever it is you're doing, right? So you also want to make sure that you keep your project enough, not too boring. Now, because I said that you want to show them proof of work, you want to show them an evidence of what you are doing or what you've done, how you can help them. You do not want to now put out about 10 portfolios or 10 projects into your portfolio. If 3 to 5 projects, they are enough. Find your best 3 to 5 projects that you can put in a portfolio. Make sure that they are well organized and they are well convincing, and that way you'll be able to like win these people's hearts, right? Is Cecilia with us? And the next thing that we'll be going to is, sorry, a minute. So what actually works when you are applying? So it's a thing to apply, and also it's a thing to apply. You see people saying, "Oh, I've been applying for a remote work for about 6 months, nothing is working." But I don't think I'll be dwelling so much on this because Rai did justice to this particular topic, right? But for the sake of those that are just joining us, so what are the things that you do not want to do? So some of the things that you don't want to do is send generic applications. You don't just want to put out a cover letter that you are using. You want to apply for a content writer at a fintech company, you use the same cover letter. You want to apply as a copywriter as an AI agency, you use the same cover letter. You're just using the same thing. It is not tailored to the specific job post that you are trying to apply for. And because AI, we now have AI helps us to like construct our words and everything. Now, all you just have to do is, oh, you can go on ChatGPT and put on ChatGPT prompt. So this is the job application that I saw, and I'm trying to apply for it. So whatever AI just gives to you, just copy it and just paste it. I mean, AI is here to make our work easier, right? But at the same time, AI should not be the brain behind everything that we do. So you want to make sure that you tailor your application specifically to that person. The person that is going to be reading your CV or that is going to be reading your application, that person is also a human just like you, and the person wants to feel some sort of connection. They want to get to know this person first before saying that, oh, I think this is someone that we can work with, right? So some of the do's that you want to do, you want to tailor every application like I've said earlier. And so you want to mention the exact tools that you know how to use. So don't just say that, oh, I'm a virtual assistant. So what are the tools that you know how to make use of as a virtual assistant? So what makes you different from another virtual assistant? What are you bringing to the table? What are the things that you can do very, very clearly, right? And then have your portfolio link clearly. So the mistake that some of us also do is there are some job applications that you have their Google, what you have access to is a Google link, and they're asking you to like put up a link, or they're asking you to put to add your resume. So don't just make a mistake of just adding your resume, and we know your resume is just a short bio about you, and then some of the works that you've done, what you were able to do, you don't show them in your resume. Resume is just like a short detail, right? But you also want to now add the link to your portfolio that I said you are going to create earlier on Canva. Now, that Canva document, you can create a link, like generate a Canva link. Or what you can do is when you finish designing your portfolio, right? Go on Google Drive. Google Drive is the tool that we talked about earlier. We talked about Google Drive earlier. So you go on Google Drive, create a folder. So the folder on Google Drive is going to be my portfolio. So this document, which is your portfolio, you upload it into Google Drive. Then whenever you, so inside your resume, so you now generate that Google Drive link. You want to manage access. You want to make sure that it is accessible to everyone, that everyone can view that particular document. So you now want to put that link into your resume. So in that way, when you're applying for jobs that they are not asking you to maybe they are not giving permission for you to put in your portfolio. That way, when they click on your resume, they can see a link that is going to now lead them into details of what you've done before, right? And also, you want to follow up professionally, and you want to follow up consistently. So you can there are some job application processes that take weeks, that take months, right? Because of their recruiting process. So you want to follow up. You want to try and make sure that, oh, you don't just send emails or just apply once. You want to try to follow up and make sure that you are being at it, like you are at their mind, you are on top of their mind, right? So the next thing we are also going to be talking about is what you truly need before job hunting. So what are the things that I can anybody see my screen? I think I cannot see my screen. Okay, so I think I would just continue. So, what are the things that you truly need before job hunting? So, the first thing you need is a professional email address. Now, I think these are things that are not. I don't think I have the time to start breaking it down in details. But I want you to make sure that you have like a pen or a pen and a book with you, and you are taking note of these things. So, professional email address. You can go on TikTok on how to create a professional email address. I promise you, it is very, very easy. Now, a stable internet connection. Now, I know we live in Nigeria. We live in a country where internet can be very, very, very frustrating. But at the same time, there are ways that you can use to make sure that this process is very easy for you. So let's say you have an interview. You want to make sure that you have a backup plan. You're not just relying on just a single internet service provider. Let's say get like a Wi-Fi, and your Wi-Fi is making use of Airtel, or on your phone you are making use of MTN, right? And you also want to make sure that you are let's say if you live with your friends or people that you can share a router with. Now, I make use of this Airtel ODU. Airtel ODU is also a very good option. All you pay is 5,000 naira per month, and they come in to come and fix the audio outside of your house. They just fix it. They find somewhere where the network is also stable. They can also be dramatic once in a while. We know we Okay, so can we see hear me? So the next thing you want to make sure that you have is a quiet workspace. Now, it will not be nice if my co-workers are trying to communicate with me and they have been distracted because maybe there are noises at your background, or people are just going and coming in. So you want to make sure that you are working in a place that is very, very quiet. People can hear you clearly. There's no form of distraction. So if you have an interview, one of the things that I expect you to do when you have an interview is to find somewhere quiet, somewhere you can sit in. If you know that, if let's say you are a student and you are currently living with your parents and you know that, they can just call you at any time without even giving a damn that, you are in an interview, right? You can you can leave your house and then go to a co-working space that you can make use of. Just find somewhere very quiet that you know that, I'm just all alone here. There is no form of distraction. And another thing is a strong LinkedIn profile. So one of the things I made as a beginner is I didn't make use of LinkedIn. In fact, LinkedIn is still a platform that I'm still struggling to make use of totally. So because you see things sometimes when I go on LinkedIn, people sharing their wins, and you might want to get discouraged as a beginner because you're just starting out and it just seems as if everybody's talking about how they made $500, how they made $10,000. You're just wondering, just when am I going to make $10,000? But at the same time, I want you to see this as an inspiration. They are telling you that it is easy. These people that are telling you that they made $10,000 this week. There was also a time that they made $5. There was also a time that they didn't make anything. There was also a time that they all they made was $10. There was also a time that they didn't make anything for months, right? They didn't make any money for months, right? So this thing is just step by step. It's a process. So you're just starting out, right? If you start out and you were able to get a job that is paying you $500 or $1,000 at the beginning, that's a very huge win. But for some people, you might not be offered that kind of amount as a beginner, and that's still fine. So just take it as your own way of learning or your own way of growing to actually see that, this thing that I claim that I have learned, right? Let me see if I can put this thing into practice. If I can do this thing really, really well, right? So basic tool knowledge. So basic tool knowledge, like I had discussed earlier. So we talked about tools that you should be able to make use of as a remote worker, right? And then small portfolio, minimum of 3 projects. These are things that we've discussed earlier. So the next one, remote work is not magic. Yes, it is not magic. I know it is remote work. They told you that, you just need to work at the comfort of your home. You don't need to go to an office. And because it's remote work, everybody is talking about freelancing online. Everybody is talking about remote work. You think, it is so easy. I'm not going to the office and everything, right? Yes, it's easy. You don't have to show up at an office at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. in the morning, because even when you were a student, you don't like showing up to classes, which I absolutely understand, right? But at the same time, it is not magic. As a beginner, you have to understand that just the same way we have a corporate ladder that people climb in the workspace, that is just the same way it is. You don't just expect that because I have learned a skill, because I spent so much time, so much money improving myself, you don't want to expect that, everything is just come on at you at once, right? So these tools, you can learn them, your portfolio, you can build them, and these opportunities, you can build them. So at Visavi Academy, right, you can learn some of these skills, non-tech skills. You don't have to learn the tech parts of remote work. You don't have to learn coding if you know that you don't know coding. I know I don't have the brain for coding, so there's no point trying to go into coding, even though I'm trying to convince myself these days that I can give it a try, right? But because you see a colleague or your classmate or your friend that you know that is into coding, and they're paying, this person seems to be making a lot of money, right? You want to jump into coding because at the end of the day, you might start learning coding and then you realize that I do not think I am built for this. I do not think I have the intellectual capacity for me to learn coding, right? So we just want to go over the things that I've mentioned earlier. Open a Canva account, right? So if you do not have a Canva account, you can create a Canva account right now. Canva account is something that you should do when this when this tutorial is over, when this event is over, right? Open a Canva account, create a Canva account for yourself, and you would see different examples of portfolios that you can just edit to fit in what you want, right? And then build one sample project. Let's say you're a social media manager. Think of a business owner around you that you know, or a popular brand that seems to be doing so well, but their social media page is just kind of messy, right? Think of how you can make their page. Think of how you can make it look better, right? Or let's say a cafe, they sell tea, they sell coffee. Think of how you can make their social media page look well organized, because people that are into these kind of things. If I want to buy, let's say, from a restaurant, right, I'm not going to be buying from you when I come onto your Instagram page and everything is looking so messy. It's what I see that is going to attract me, right? Then learn one tool. You want to make sure that at least every week or every month I am learning one tool. Now, okay, this particular month, now I'm going to be making sure that this month I pay attention into learning this particular tool and learn it well, right? Then next month I'm learning this. But how if there are other skills that you can learn per week or per day, make sure that you are committing yourself to make sure that you know this, you know how to use this tool. Don't just assume that, oh, it's Google Drive now. I know how to use Google Drive because, oh, it's Zoom. I know how to use Zoom, because there might be a day that you might be needed to do other complex things that you are not even aware on. You are not even aware of on Zoom, and then you might just end up embarrassing yourself, right? Then update your LinkedIn. Like I said earlier, LinkedIn is a tool that you want to make use of. I know that it's not possible for you to it's not very easy to stay consistent on all social media platforms, right? But LinkedIn is it's a platform for opportunities. LinkedIn is a place where you get to connect with people that are successful at what they do, people that you can look up to, or people that are also within the same space that you are in, right? And consistency creates opportunity. Whatever it is that you're doing, you want to be consistent at it. You don't just want to send out one application today and then you give up because you sent one and then they rejected you. In fact, the higher the volume, the more the results. I recently, about 2 months ago, I recently started this sending out cold email things and everything, right? And there are times that I get tons of rejections. So your rejections they are even going to push you to do better. They are going to teach you things on, oh, maybe I'm not doing this right. You figure out, oh, maybe I did not do this right, maybe I did not do this well, right? You want to be consistent at whatever it is that you do. So the more you learn how to use a particular tool, the more you get better at it. Like they say, Rome was not built in a day, and whatever skill set that you have or whatever skill that you have, it's not going to be built in a day. So the same when you were giving birth to, right, you had to learn how to walk, you had to learn how to talk, you had to learn how to do things, and that's the same way it is for whatever skill it is that you're learning. You have to make efforts. So you don't just say that, or you don't just finish learning a particular skill. Let's say you take a course with Visavi Academy, you take a virtual assistant or a social media management course, right? And after learning social media management for after learning it, maybe 2 months after, you just forget all about it and you want to pick it up. So the tools that you're going to be using as a social media manager, they are being updated every time, every week, every month. The same Instagram that you used to know last month is not the same Instagram that you know today. In fact, I was talking to a friend today that the person was not even aware that, oh, you cannot even download videos from Instagram the same way we download on TikTok. So you want to make sure that you are updated. You know things even before your clients or your organizations, they are aware of them, right? You want to know the new updates. You want to know things that are trending. You want to know tools that are essential for you. And that is where I'll be wrapping it up and handing it over to the next speaker. And thank you so much for joining this event once again. And my name is Kiki Blessing, and it was so amazing getting to share my knowledge with you guys. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't know I was muted. So I just want to say that's Kiki, and she shares amazing tips on her TikTok and her social media pages. So if you know you're looking for that one person that also works remotely that you can follow and be inspired and get ideas from, it's definitely her. So Cecilia, make sure to put her social media pages, either TikTok or Instagram, in the comments so we can pin it. Okay, before we proceed, I would like to take some questions that I saw in the comment section. I'm going to take just five questions or two. No, sorry, I'll take two so we don't waste time. Someone said the first question is okay, the first question said in this age, skills like virtual assistant and customer support are very risky because of AI. These skills are being replaced daily. While this is a very nice thing to say because it's actually true, a lot of tools, a lot of skills like virtual assistant, people are now outsourcing it to AI. But the truth is that a capable virtual assistant is always going to be needed. I don't even need to say capable. An average person in America, most average people are not thinking about let me go and automate AI to handle my tasks. They're just thinking about let me hire someone that will be accountable for this. If they hire you as a virtual assistant, they're expecting accountability from you. I'm going to give you guys an example. I'm just going to share my screen. Share screen. I don't want to talk too much. We're just going to go into Upwork and you will see if there are open roles for this thing that you said. I believe I'm already on Upwork. Okay. Okay. So let's take a look at my Upwork profile. The first job posting that I'm even seeing is talking about executive assistant, which is also a virtual assistant that handles executive tasks. The second one is an AI savvy founder support assistant, still a virtual assistant. The third one is part time virtual assistant. The fourth is executive assistant, virtual assistant. I'm telling you, virtual assistant again, virtual chamber, virtual assistant, executive VA. I don't even need to keep going down, but you can see the point I'm trying to make. Now, what I'm trying to say is this. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. I don't like distraction. Uh, Sorry, I need to check the comments if you guys have been seeing me. Okay, so the second thing that I'm going to say is this. If you learn a particular skill and you're very good at it, everyone is literally hiring for skills. Why do you think if a field is talked about a lot is because that field is highly like it's something that people search for very well. If people search for a particular field for like a lot of times, there would be people that will start pushing themselves into that field, and that's why it seems like virtual assistant is saturated. But you as a person, you cannot say I want to learn virtual assistant, you go and start doing something that is very basic, like managing emails, handling basic things like calendar. Those are basic virtual assistant things that right now I don't even advise anyone to go and learn basic virtual assistant only. If you want to learn things like virtual assistant, you need to add things that will make them see you as someone who is worthy to retain. Let me show you guys an example again. Okay, hold on. So please let me know in the comments if you're following me. I just wanted to confirm if you guys are following me before I proceed. Someone, are you guys following me? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so the reason why I said if you want to learn a skill like virtual assisting, where you know that AI works very well, the best thing you want to do is combining it with something that is very valuable. For example, you can decide to be an executive assistant. In order to be an executive assistant, you need to go on a platform like Upwork and search for what you're interested in. Example, you want to search for executive assistant. When you search for executive assistant and you see open jobs for execs, the first thing you want to check is what are they posting that they need an executive assistant for. That is how this is a cheat code I'm giving to you guys right now. This is how you find out which particular field you should learn. Okay, the first thing you want to do is go to a platform that hires. You can go on LinkedIn, you can go on Upwork. There are so many platforms out there that you can go and you can check executive assistants. What do they hire for? What do they say they want? So you read the job posting. This one is looking for someone who is going to help their vice president of operations and COO in a fast-paced marketing and operations environment. So what this means is you're going to read it. They said then want someone who is good with communication, problem solving. Read that and move over to the next one. You can see this is also looking for someone to help entrepreneurs who are managing multiple projects. You're going to read and understand exactly what they need from an executive assistant, and that is how you know that I need to take my time to learn this. So when you've learned it and you're ready to get a job, you know that okay, this is exactly what I've mastered so far, and this is how I can start applying for these jobs. That's exactly how, if I wanted to learn a skill today, that's exactly what I would do. If I wanted to learn virtual assistant, that's what I would do. I would also go online and search virtual assistants and search for what people require from virtual assistants, and then I would go on to learn those things perfectly well before I now say, let me start applying to jobs. Okay, let's take the second question. Someone said, ma'am, what of customer support? It's the same thing. Just research that. Look at what people are. Let me just research customer support real quick. Since a lot of people like to ask customer support, just search customer support and see. This is customer support. Yeah, talent. On Upwork, you can filter location, less than project length, yada yada yada. Okay, so let's use customer support as an example as well. So when you want to do customer support roles, you also want to check what exactly they need from customer support. You want to check the roles they are posting. This is not even English. Okay, this is English. You want to check the roles they are posting for customer support. What do they need from this customer support agent? And that's what you're going to focus yourself on learning. Because when you focus on learning these things, then you're going to know that you're now job ready to actually start applying to jobs. Now let's take the second question. Is Upwork our only option? No, Upwork is not your only option. Someone said those platforms are not free. A lot of people are trying to make money these days. Of course, platforms will not be free. And if you're someone who wants to actually get a job, you have to understand that you need to be willing to pay for access. Am I saying that email? This is the fourth question. Am I saying that email management or admin isn't advisable? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you want to learn virtual assisting, or you say you want to learn, don't only be a basic virtual assistant. Be a virtual assistant that is very highly skilled. You can learn email management. Email management is under administrative virtual assistant. But if you want to learn this, you can also add it up with some things like research, analysis, different things that will make you very valuable. And now for the fifth question, please, are you going to save this video? Of course, you can always come back and rewatch this video on my YouTube channel. It is right here. So now let's dive into my next topic, which is why you keep getting rejected as a remote worker and how to fix that. So you need to listen to me clearly because this is a 90-day recovery plan for people who are very ambitious and you want to change your strategy. I'm going to pause my video again. Now, first of all, I need to talk to you guys about something that I think a lot of people don't understand, and it's called career blind side. Career blind side is when you've applied to over 100 jobs, 500 jobs, even 1,000 jobs, and you're confident that you're doing everything right and nothing is working. Meanwhile, someone else landed a role after just 10 applications. There are some people that will apply to one job and they will get that job, while there are some persons that will apply to 1,000 jobs and they will not get it. And then they'll say, I'm doing everything right, I'm not getting it. If you apply to 1,000 jobs and you don't get it, then you're not definitely not doing everything right, and you are career blindsided. What this means is that you've blindsided yourself to think that I am always right and what I'm doing is right, and you've not yet sat back to actually think, what am I doing wrong and how can I change it? Career blindside happened to me when I was 6 months into my virtual assistant career. 6 months in, I was job hunting. I tell this story all the time back then. 6 months in, I was job hunting. I was hustling for jobs, nothing yet. And I was telling myself, I'm doing everything right. One day, I sat down back and I said, I need to do an analysis and know exactly what is wrong. And then I realized that it's the way that I was applying to these jobs. Your cover letter might be wrong. Something is there definitely wrong, and you're not actually understanding exactly what is wrong because you've been blindsided to think that you are correct. And because you're applying to 1,000 jobs, you're thinking that the fault is not from you. A lot of applicants face this blindside problem, but this problem is fixable. The hard truth is that if you're applying to 1,000 jobs and zero offers, something is wrong in your strategy. And the good news is that it's not about you being good enough, or it's not about you lacking skills. It's just about you being the way you positioned yourself. When I was writing my cover letter before, I used to only talk about myself in the cover letter. This is this person. This is what I can do for you. I am. This is what I have. I have 4 years of experience. This is my CV. And one thing I was keeping was about the business. I wasn't talking about the business. I wasn't talking about how I help the business. And when I sat back and I reflected, I'm like, why not tell these people the value you can give to them? And I changed my entire application strategy. I started my strategy with, I took a deep dive into your business, and this is what I can do for you. After the first paragraph of telling them that, I started introducing myself in the second paragraph. Now, the first paragraph, I've used it to catch their attention. And they'll be like, let me read this person's application later. That is exactly what stepping back from a career blind side would do for you. It will help you see a clearer vision on why you've not been able to actually achieve your goals. Okay. Now let's move to the real reason you're getting rejected. Most rejections in remote job is not because you're not good enough. It's because they are unknowingly repelling opportunities before you even get a chance. You will repel an opportunity before you get a chance to actually apply to it. Um, I'm trying to see. Okay, you repel an opportunity before you actually apply to it. Now you don't need more applications, you need a better strategy. You don't need to keep applying to over 1,000 jobs. You just need a better strategy. And there are 5 critical mistakes that are keeping you stuck. Mistake number 1: you start with applications instead of skill clarity. What most people do, they jump straight to Upwork, LinkedIn, and job boards, and they start applying. On LinkedIn, they'll go and click the easy apply without a clear target. They are using the easy apply option on LinkedIn. And then on Upwork, they are just using generic cover letters. All this is a problem. Number 2, they send their CVs before knowing what they are selling. You just see a job posting that's talking about customer support, and you run and go and send the same customer support CV that you've already sent to over 3 other companies. Doesn't make sense. This is going to make your confusion show, and your employers will sense it immediately. If you are applying to a job and I see that this person is applying to a job, based on how you write your application strategy, based on your CV, I will just know that this person is confused and they don't really know what they are doing. Now, let's talk about the fix for this particular method. It is for you to stop applying completely. Instead, choose one skill and go deep. Listen to the fix. Choose one skill and go deep into that skill. If you want to be a virtual assistant, go deep into virtual assistant. Don't just learn the basics. Also learn other things that virtual assistants can do to make their like executive assistant is also a VA. You can learn other things you can do to help your employers have like a better workflow balance, and that will make you someone that they would rely on. Number 2, you want to understand how it works in real companies, the skill you choose. You want to understand how it works in real companies. And number 3, you want to build confidence before you pitch. How exactly can you build confidence before you pitch? By doing the same thing that Blessing spoke about when she was talking. She mentioned doing mock-up projects, and she said you can do mock-up projects and use those mock-up projects in your portfolio. So when you're doing mock-up projects, you're building confidence before you pitch. Now, another example of if you want to build a mock-up project, you can go on these platforms that hire and see things like search for your field again and read it. This particular customer support says that you will be responsible for incoming calls and requests from their marketplace services. You will have a book of business to maintain as your account portfolio increases. Now, what you can do is you can copy this and go and learn how to have a book of business to maintain. You can go and learn how does a support maintain a book of business. How does a customer support handle incoming calls? When you go and learn this thing, I'm not saying go and apply to the job ASAP. No, I said go and learn it. So when you go and learn it now, you can use that in your portfolio, and that is how you build a mock-up project. Okay. Also, when you're building that mock-up project, you're also building confidence. You're going to have confidence. You're going to have so much self-esteem that, okay, yes, I can actually handle this. A lot of people, for example, if you join Visavi Academy and you say you want to go and learn these things, there are some things that we don't teach you, which is what I'm talking about, like telling you to go and search for, sorry, like telling you to go and search for a job like this. We cannot go and search for jobs for you as a student and tell you, okay, this is jobs that we search for. Go and apply to these jobs. No, you have to be the one to say, these are some things that I actually want to do. I need to go and search for jobs and use these jobs to build my confidence. The academy is going to teach you what customer support do. The academy is going to give you assignments to do it. But if you want to build your expertise, continuous learning is always needed. Even myself today, I literally had a marketing class yesterday. You have to always keep learning and keep expanding your knowledge. Now, before I move into the next slide, I'm going to give a shout out to, where's that brand? Okay, not here. Card Remit. I'm going to give a shout out to a brand called Card Remit. So, what does Card Remit do? I just wanted to just give me a second. Before I continue, let's talk about Card Remit. Card Remit it's a cross-border remittance built for Nigerians abroad. And you can use it to send money. If you are in Canada, if you're in Nigeria, you can use it to send money across. You can use it to receive money, and you can also use it to convert. They have made over 20 billion in transaction, and sending money is not difficult. A lot of platforms don't actually have Canadian bank accounts. We have so many clients from Canada, and so many remote workers don't have a Canadian bank account to receive income from Canada. But Card Remit can offer you a Canadian bank account. So all you have to do is go and download the Card Remit app and use it to create an international bank account. You can use that international bank account for different things like paying subscriptions and different things, also receiving money from clients who are abroad. And aside from that, they are also running a $50 CMT giveaway. Where is it at? Yeah, so they are running a $50 in CMT points. So when you sign up, you complete your KYC and you send or you receive at least $20, you're going to get the equivalent of $50 in CMT points. So imagine getting coins or money in exchange for just using the platform. So first thing first, go and download and sign up to it, fund your wallet or use it to receive payment, send or receive payment, and they are going to send the $50 CMT to you. So let's go back to our training. Okay, this is not the one we're in. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, I was talking about the fix, which is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to do in week 1 to week 3. Choosing one skill, understanding how the skill works, and build confidence before you pitch. You can start this on Monday. Now let's move over to the mistake number 2 a lot of newbies make. No proof and only claims. A lot of newbies, they make no proof and only claims. You're going to say, this is what I can do. This is how I can do it. Yeah, honestly, the reason why I'm laughing is because that is exactly how I used to be. I used to make so much claims that I got a role paying me over $13 when I was a newbie. And in my first week of that particular role, I lost it. I also made so many claims with no backings, no portfolio, and I didn't get the job. And I was just there saying, I've applied to 1,000 jobs. What is really going on? These are the issues. So now your CV is saying I'm a hardworking virtual assistant, but your offer there's nothing to back it up. You don't have samples, you don't have systems, you don't have demonstrations. Your portfolio is empty. You need to build evidence before you apply. Even if no one has paid you yet, you're building proof. I already taught you guys a few minutes ago on how to go and search for jobs and use that to build evidence. So if you want to build evidence and you've not gotten a job soon, go and create mock-up portfolios. Mistake number 3 is the copy and paste CV and generic application. You're sending the same CV to a startup, you're sending that same CV to a corporate company, you're sending it to a freelance gig. All these things you're doing is a quiet opportunity killer. For example, there are some people that they say their field is virtual assistant, and then their CV title is carrying customer support. When they see a job posting that says they are hiring a virtual assistant, they will use that same customer support CV and apply for virtual assistant job. They will use that customer support CV and apply for data analyst job. They will still use that same CV and apply for they will still use that same CV and go and apply for a job that is not even in that CV. And that is a very big mistake. If you're a customer support, have a customer support CV. If you're a virtual assistant, have a virtual assistant CV. Stop using generic applications and doing double cross copy and paste CVs. Now, if you want your CV to be sound, you need to ask yourself, why are you the right fit for this role specifically? Because a lot of people are wasting their time applying for a lot of jobs that they don't even fit in. You're applying for data analyst job, you know, be data analyst. You're applying for social media, you don't know anything about social media management. Even small targeted adjustment to your CV and cover message make a massive difference in your response rate. There must be something they put in the job posting that you have to offer 100%, and you should stand by it in your CV. If they say we're looking to grow our social media account from 0 followers to 1,000 followers, and you're a social media manager that have strategies living rent free in your head, you want to make sure that your portfolio, your CV, your cover letter carries that strategy. This, I read your job posting that says you want to grow your social media account from 0 to 1,000 followers. This is how I can actually help you achieve that goal. When you do this, the company will see that and say, let's interview this person. So you want to make sure that your CV or your application, whatever application you're doing, is not generic. It should be specialized for that particular job posting. Now we have mistake number 5, mistake number 4, which is weak online presence or none at all. A lot of persons have very weak online presence. These days, you have to be on a platform at all. If you see some job postings out there, there's some job postings that will definitely tell you submit your LinkedIn link, submit your Twitter link, submit your Thread link. You want to make sure to submit one of these links. Have an online presence. Recently, I was looking for someone who would help me manage a Shopify website. And do you guys know where I found that person? On TikTok. On TikTok, I just went on TikTok because I like to search for people that actually have experience. I just went on TikTok and I said Shopify manager, and I saw this girl and she was talking about all the mistakes she has made and how she has corrected the mistakes. These are the mistakes I used to make as a Shopify manager. This is how I corrected it. I sent her a message. I said, hi, would you like to have an interview with Suzuzo company? She said yes. We pushed her to the HR team of the company and she got the job. That's exactly what having an online presence can do for you. When you have an online presence, you're going to have more opportunities. It's not about you applying to jobs anymore. Opportunities will be coming your way. Just one viral post of you telling a business owner, I'm a social media manager and this is how I grow your page for 3 months. Do you know how, if you can promote that post or get a viral content out of that, do you know how many business owners will reach out to you? That's exactly what an online presence can do for you. Employers check more than your CVs. They are checking your LinkedIn profile. They are checking your portfolio. They are checking your online activity. And if they cannot understand who you are in 10 seconds, they move on. So build a very simple but clear presence. Now let's talk about mistake number 5, which is the no feedback loop. You are applying 100 times without asking what is not working. It means that you're repeating the same circle indefinitely. So that's, I spoke about this in the beginning and I said it's a career blindside. So many people are blindsided. You're not checking, why is this not working? What have I done wrong? If you check, if you look into what is not working, you'll be able to find it and you'll be able to correct it. It's just like, for example, if you call an electrician to fix your bulb in your living room, right? And when he's done and he goes away, the bulb goes off again. If that electrician come back now and connect that wire without actually checking what is stopping the connection from flowing, that electricity bulb would keep going off. Now, the reason why I use bulb is like the light in your career. Whatever you're doing and you're not checking why it's wrong, that light will keep going off, and it's going to affect you mentally. I know what I went through when I was job hunting and I did not have a good feedback loop, or I was blindsided. Okay. Now, the plan is for you to apply to 10 to 15 targets. First of all, this is what I'm giving you. Apply to 10 to 15 targets. You need to audit results. What did I do wrong? Why have they not gotten back to me after you've done this? The third is for you to adjust your approach. If you were applying using your CV, adjust the approach and start using your portfolio. The next thing is for you to improve. Update your CV, update the CV, update application platforms, update portfolio and strategy. If you were applying with your CV and it's boring, you want to add metrics into the CV. For example, you can add things like, if you're a social media manager, once again, you can add metrics such as a social media manager, I can scale your brand like this. I did this, did this. That is you adding and updating your CV. Next, you can change your application platforms. If you're applying on just Upwork, you can change it and decide that you want to apply on LinkedIn, or you want to search for jobs on Twitter. Change your application platforms because the platforms might be the problem. And next thing, you want to update your portfolio with new mock-up projects you've done. And lastly, you want to change your strategy. If you were only applying for jobs, you can now change your strategy and start pitching to get jobs. Now, this is a 90-day recovery plan. Day 1 to 21, you want to do something called a skill clarity phase. Choose one skill and go deep. Zero applications. Do not apply on day 1 to 21. Just choose one skill and go deep. Day 22 to day 45, you want to start building proof. What I mean by building proof is that start building confidence. Go and search for jobs. Use what they said in the job posting. Carry on the tasks and build proof and build confidence. Build your online presence as well in day 22 to day 45. Now we have day 46 to 75. You want to start the targeted applications. Apply with tailored CVs. Track the responses so far. Adjust your messaging. And lastly, we have day 76 to day 90, which is review and optimize. Audit what is working for you. Refine your approach and scale what converts. Now, you're not getting rejected because you're not good enough. You're rejected because you're not clearly positioned. Whatever you're doing, you need to understand that clarity beats volume and proof beats promises. Your strategy beats your luck as well. So if you fix these 5 mistakes we discussed in this particular slide and you execute the 90-day plan, your next application will definitely land differently. And for those persons that haven't joined Visa Academy July waitlist yet, it's pinned in the comment section. You can use the link to join July cohort waitlist. And then also make sure to use card remit if you need to send funds in and out of Nigeria. And for those who are going to use it, the first 10%, they are going to get credited $50 in CMT points. All right. So Cecilia, please let me know if our next speaker is here so I can step down. Otherwise, I will just take questions.
Hi guys, good evening everyone. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? I think it should be audible. Okay. Yeah, good evening. So my name is Goodluck and I'm a project manager slash customer service rep. Let me see the chat. I just want to be sure you guys can hear me. Sorry, just give me a minute. Okay, amazing. Amazing. So let me start again. So hi, good evening everyone. My name is Goodluck and I'm a project manager slash customer service representative. And thank you, Coach Ryan, for this opportunity. So let me just begin. Let me just start. So from the plan that I was given, The first thing I'll be talking about is my personal journey, how I landed my first remote job. So, the first thing I'm going to start with is mindset. Sincerely, the first thing everyone should please go to the first slide. The first slide, which is how I landed my first remote job. Just leave it here. Thank you. So, the first thing I'm going to start with is mindset, sincerely, because if you want to go into the remote space, one of the things that as a Nigerian or as an African you should believe is you can compete in the market, that you are very good as other competitors. That is the first thing you should do. So when I rounded up my university education, I really didn't know much about remote. Sincerely, I just knew that I wanted to work from the comfort of my home. But then I was like, how can I work from the comfort of my home? And then I started making research. And I'm someone that is very, very good with research. And that was when I stumbled up on remote jobs. And then one of the things that I noticed then was I got interested with Scrum Master. As much as there are a lot of remote jobs or remote positions that people are very conversant with, like virtual assistants, data analysis, there are other still some roles that people are not still very conversant with, like Scrum Master. So I got introduced into the remote space with Scrum Master, and then I was like, okay, let me understand what this thing is, and let me make it clear that if you are also venturing in the remote space, if you feel that you're not going to invest in yourself, like you're not going to invest monetary, then you're not really ready. Because sincerely, starting anything or for you to be able to learn anything, you are going to pay. So I ventured into the skill of Scrum Master, and then I noticed that I was not enjoying it. You get, so this is also one thing you should understand. You should also understand how you can um you should understand yourself, what really really works for you. So when I noticed that this Scrum Master role is really not for me, I noticed that one thing I really love doing is talking to people. I love talking to people. I love interacting with people. I can settle arguments. I can do a lot of communication. And then I ventured into the customer service part. So I went on YouTube. I started with free YouTube qualification on customer service, and then from there I went to also paid platforms like Allison, and then that was where I got my customer service skill. And then once I was able to venture into that and I understood what this role entails, the next thing I knew was I don't have a portfolio. So as a beginner, you need to identify that the first thing you need to do is get that skill and then you build your portfolio. So how did I build my portfolio? I really did not focus on remote jobs. I started from local jobs here in Nigeria. So I started applying for some local jobs and I was able to land. I think within the first month of applying, I was able to land a role. It was a hybrid role initially. So I was going to work and I was staying at home for like the first 6 months. And then during that time, as I was busy doing that same role, I was also immediately I started the role. I already put it on my CV as an experience already. Because as I said, you are building your portfolio as a beginner. So once I put it on my CV, I was getting the experience from the people I was working with, the company I was working with. And then from there, I kept on applying. Some of the platform I actually used to apply then was LinkedIn and Indeed. I think I used LinkedIn, and that role that I landed was from Indeed initially. So um, once I was able to land the role and stayed in the job for 6 months, I was able to know everything I needed to know. Sincerely speaking, if you are really, really smart in this remote space and you know how to understand your role and you know how to do your job, sincerely speaking, you will literally fly. So 6 months into the job, I built my remote portfolio. I did a lot of side job, and one thing about that thing is, I think some things I see in this, maybe let's say the recent people that they are employing is they don't want to do some extra work. Some people, if you ask them to do some extra work, they will just feel so reluctant. So, but when I was in that role, I did not just do the work of a customer service. I did the work. I also did cold calling for the company. I did once my boss asked me to maybe send some emails. I did all of that. I learned how to use some CRM tools like Slack and HubSpot. Like basically, I got all my basic education from the 6 months experience, and then that alone was enough for me to build my portfolio. So using that experience, I then started applying for remote job because in my present work, I was able to meet some people that I saw that okay, this is what they are doing, and then I ventured into that. And then once I was able to land um, a remote job, I actually used LinkedIn to land that job. You get? I actually used LinkedIn to land that job. So once I was able to land my first remote job, it was for a company in the UK, and I got into that role. I was no longer a beginner, sincerely speaking, because I already got my experience from my previous role. So let me explain now. Let me break it down now. On my CV, that my 6 months experience alone, I use it as 1 year experience. To be sincere, I just rounded it up as 1 year experience, and I entered that company as an entry level customer service representative. So once I resumed my role in that company, I doubled down. I did the grunt work. I settled down. I learned from my managers because in most companies like that, there are always managers. You literally don't talk to the boss, but you have like a manager that manages all the customer service rep. I settled down. I did anything that was assigned to me, I learned it. And at the same time, at the back of my mind, I knew that this is not exactly where I also wanted to be. I needed more in my career. This is some of the things I usually explain when I come on my life or when I discuss things like this. One of the things I usually explain is you can start from a role that is easy to learn and fast to earn. You can start from a role that is easy to learn and fast to earn. So once I got into that space, my boss was a project manager. That was the manager that was managing the set of the customer service reps. He was a project manager, and then I was like, wow, project manager, and I knew they were paying him better than us. So I was like, okay. I went to him and I was like, John, please, I would like to know how you got into this field. That is also one thing you should learn. You should communicate. You should not, once you are in a place, if once you are in a workspace, you should be able to relate with your co-workers, relate with your boss, relate like be open. Don't just once you start, you just be like, I want to do your work. I don't log off. You should not have that kind of mindset. You should be open to learn from every part, from everywhere, any set of people, because if you have that form of tendency of for you to be able to learn, you will definitely go far. So I got to him and I explained that I would love to venture into this, and then he was like, okay, you have to get your PMP certification, you have to do this, you have to do that. And I was like, okay, fine and good. And then I settled, and as I said, I started from a course that was easy to learn and fast to earn, like customer service. But I knew that that was not where I wanted to settle. I needed more for myself. So I needed to earn more. I needed to, in this professional career, I needed to be able to do more for myself. So, and then I gave myself like extra 6 months. So I stayed in the job, my customer service rep job. I stayed there for a year and 6 months. And during that time of staying there, I was able to save up for the certification of the PMP certification, which is very, very expensive because it is a global certification. It's like it's a foreign certification. So I was able to save up for that. I paid for the role, I did the training, and I got certified in that field. Now, let me also, I think I said this when I was 13. I said, if you are venturing into the remote space and you have this mindset of, I don't want anybody to eat my money, that's a very big lie. Because for you to get certified, in fact, most of the certification you get from Africans are more affordable than if you say you want to go for a foreign certification, because most of my certification I went for foreign certification and it ate into my pocket a lot. But I see it as something that I am investing in myself, and you should have that mindset that anything I invest in myself is not a waste. Sincerely speaking, any money I invest in myself, if I learn how to speak well, if I take communication courses, none of them are a waste. And you will see that that is the way you will venture, or that is the way you will do so well in your remote career. And also, I would like to cover this because as much as Coach Ryan, she said something about individuals having this mindset that due to the time of AI can take away the job of communication or take away the job of virtual assistant, which in as much people might have that mindset at the back of their mind, the people that will survive when that time comes are people that are able to use these AI tools. Let me take for instance, most of these executive assistants, once they want to hire, most of these are CEOs or company or people that own companies, when they want to hire virtual assistants or executive assistants, most of them would not want to chat with an AI, sincerely speaking. They will hire a virtual assistant or an executive assistant, and then for it is now in the hand of the executive assistant to learn how to use those tools to make his or her work easier. So if you feel that AI will just come and take, that is I really don't see it happening in a very close while, because as much as people will say they are training AI to speak, like, people still love to have one-on-one conversation with a human being. As a customer service rep, I've seen this on several times. There's a way you will talk, they'll be like, "Are you a bot?" And they will end up and they will literally cut the call. That is why in most of the training that they give customer service rep, they teach you how to communicate like a human being, because you need to be able to be you will not be stiff. As much as you might have a script that you have to follow, you still need to be able to communicate, regulate how people speak, because people are different. There are different people, different things, different people you talk to. So let us just rush that. I think I just finished explaining my personal journey. Let me round it up. So as I said, I started with the customer service representative qualification because it is easy to learn and fast to earn. And then from there, I ventured and then got more certification for myself. And right now, even if I literally get emails of companies reaching out to me to work for them, and they'll be like, "Okay, this is how much we're going to pay for you." That is where visibility comes in place. As much as you want to maybe get this role and be invisible, if you are in the social media space and you are visible, sincerely speaking, most of these things you will not really stress yourself for them again. You will have those companies, you have people reaching to you have people reaching out to you for you to come and do this, for you to take this role, because you have presented yourself as a professional in that field. So it saves them a lot of maybe going to check people's qualification, or going to it saves them a lot of time. So they just believe that, oh, this person is already good in her role, I would love to employ her. And because of how you have positioned yourself in the online space, they will not even price you. If anybody is reaching out to me to say, "I want you to be a project manager for my company," sincerely speaking, they should know how much they want to charge. Like, they should know how much they are going to offer me. Do you get? So let us just go to the next slide, please. The catalyst. If you can move to this part of the slide, just go to beginners, blueprint for beginners. Go to blueprint for beginners, please. Yes, amazing. So we'll be talking on this blueprint for beginners, because to advise you if you're just venturing into the remote role. So one of the things you're going to do is you need to optimize your digital office, polish your remote communication signals, your headline, um, asynchronous proficiency, your project I think my internet is kind of fluctuating. Okay, I think I'm back. Yeah, I think I'm back. Sorry. Okay, good, amazing. So when it comes to your communication skills, when it comes to you showcasing your work or your proof of work, you should polish it. So it just talks about you should know how to package it. Even if you don't have much of an experience, as much as you have gotten that skill, you can usually do some free work for people, not like totally free, but you charge them less because you are initially building your portfolio. You should target high metric platforms. You should track, follow, and pivot. Maintain an interactive application log if 20 application is sent. So basically, let me just brief this whole blueprint for beginner. As a beginner, if you are starting in the remote space, the first thing you should do is once you have been able to get that skill that you want to do, or if you have been able to identify where you want to be, either a virtual assistant or a data analyst or a project manager like myself or a customer service rep or a programmer, because there are other roles that can take more than a month to learn or to master. It just depends on you getting to understand which one is good for me and then venture into it. So once you have gotten that skill, the next thing you need to do is, if you know you are someone that you love to communicate, you work on how you speak, your accent, how you relate, how you just basically brush up yourself, you get. And then in process of brushing up yourself, you can reach out to some creators. Let us say you can reach out to some creators. You can literally sell yourself and be like, I'm a virtual assistant, you know what, I would like to offer you, I would like to work for you for free for the first month. And then if you love my work, you can then should I say retain me or not. Let me say that the main reason I usually advise that is, do you know that even if one and decide that, you know what, I'm no longer reserving you, it's a win-win on my side because you put it on your CV, to be sincere, because you definitely worked for the creator for a month. And if the creator have a company, let us say the creator academy now. Yes, now, for you for a particular period, and then at the end of the day, sorry guys, now anytime
Okay, guys. So she has network issue, and I feel like that is a Nigerian problem that we are always dealing with. Although we're about to end this in the next 30 minutes, by 10 o'clock would end this live chat, and she'll definitely come back before then. So let's just give her some time so she can actually fix the network issue. Cecilia, can you share the before she comes back? I wanted to talk about the roadmap on how to actually get a remote job in 90 days, but I don't want it to clash with what she's teaching you. So you don't just jeopardize, you don't just carry too many things in your head, okay? So she's going to come back very soon. Cecilia, please share the screen record about Visavi Academy. Let's talk about that first while we wait for her. Okay, so let's talk about launching your remote career with Visavi Academy. If you want to go from experience to job ready in just 6 weeks, you need to get practical training and you want to use real tools and build a career that fits your life. You want to make sure to join our July waitlist. The link is pinned to the top of this profile. Someone said, do you guys have a Twitter account? Yes, our Twitter account is Visavi Academy. You can get us on LinkedIn, everywhere, Visavi Academy, even on TikTok. Your 6 weeks program, this particular workshop, if you notice, it's a workshop. You cannot teach someone everything in a workshop. We can majorly talk about the things that can help you, the things that cannot help you, and so on. But in actual training, you will learn more. Cecilia, please, while I'm talking, just try to make sure that Coach Goodluck's network is okay. Now, in your 6 weeks program, you're going to learn a simple step by step plan that will grow your skill each week. You're going to learn from the basics, which is week one. We have the welcome and setup. Week two, we have the essential skills for virtual assistant. Week three, we have our creative and marketing skills. What this means is that while our training is a virtual assistant training, we are also teaching you marketing in the training. We're also teaching you social media management in the training. And that's why I was telling you guys that I don't just advise you anyone nowadays to just be plain basic virtual assistant. You have to have knowledge in other fields. So even if you're a professional virtual assistant, you can always chip in when you see a job for social media management. You can always say, okay, I have the ability to apply to this job. And that's what we're going to teach you in week three. Week four, we teach customer support. And week five, we teach marketing again, which is email marketing and career development. And week six, we have our remote worker starter kit and exams. We take exams in the virtual assistant training, and you're going to get a certification after the exams. These are the skills you're going to master. You're going to master inbox and calendar management, data and document management, project task management, design and content support, and client communication. You're going to have hands-on experience because you're not learning alone, and you also have practicals. We have assignments that you need to submit, so you're going to learn by doing and not just by watching the class. So after the training, we also have our quiz section whereby you have to answer quiz to move over to the next training. And when you answer the quiz and you fail the quiz, you know, okay, this is exactly what I failed and this is the correct answer. So our training includes real tasks you're going to do for real clients. You're going to use live tools, get feedback, you improve your work. So you're going to feel ready before your first job. So while this workshop is going to tell you, oh, this is what you need to do, that's what you need to do. In the training, you're just following a direct process to everything. So you don't have to figure things out on your own. Now, what makes Visavi different is that it's not just a course or a book. It's actually like it's literally like a live class, just that it's recorded and you can rewatch it as many times as possible. So we are putting you in the work from day one. You're building the skills, you're taking quizzes to test your understanding, you're building your portfolio and confidence, and you're making you job ready. So you're going to work on real projects, live software to build portfolio. We have dedicated coaches. We have interview coaching when you come and say, "Oh, I need to get an interview. Help me." We have all that. We have community access. You're going to stay committed with your colleagues. You're going to have resources and ongoing support even after the training. And we have so many students' success stories on how literally things happen for them. Cecilia, please keep scrolling. He secured his first international job. She also secured her first international job on this same Upwork that people are saying there are no jobs on Upwork. people are literally securing jobs on Upwork. And that's why it brings me back to what I said. I said it is not you're majorly you're majorly missing some things which could be positioning. The people that are getting works on Upwork, I used to always tell myself that they don't have two heads. And I used to always use 4 words for me and I'll say, you can do it. If these people are doing it, I definitely can do it. I just need to learn how to do it. Okay, so at Visavi, we don't just teach you digital skills, we help you to move from I don't know how to I landed the role with the right guidance, structure, and consistency. Things can change. Okay, so Cecilia, is this the last slide? If yes, please let me know what is going on with Coach Goodness. And if you know you haven't joined our wait list yet, it's pinned in the comments. Make sure to use that to join the wait list. Let me answer some questions while we are waiting for her. Someone said, how do I attach what I have worked on as a customer support that worked in a company, but I have no proof except on my CV? I don't know if you joined the class or joined the workshop late, but I already showed you guys how you can go on job posting, and carry on tags, and you can attach those tags to your portfolio. For example, if you worked in a company and what you did in that company as customer support was manage emails, right? You can now go on these platforms and search for posting that said handle emails, and you can use that to put it into your portfolio that you managed emails. Do you understand what I'm saying? So whatever you did in that company, you can always go back and research it and put it in your portfolio. Please, how can one verify their LinkedIn account? You can verify your LinkedIn account by using your international passport, or I think you can also use the LinkedIn hard copy passport. But LinkedIn verification, I don't know how they do that these days. Is it necessary? If you're talking about the verification that you need a blue badge, then that is not necessary. It's just like getting blue badge on Twitter or whatever. But if you're talking about the one that if you're creating an account and they ask you to verify, then you can use NIN hard copy or international passports. Someone says, I only have a laptop. Can I start as a VA? Then once I progress, I can get a laptop. What I'm going to say is that a phone can help you learn skills, but it's going to be slower than someone that has an actual laptop. And if you want to work as a VA, there are certain skills that you cannot do. For example, you cannot do maybe email marketing, full-time email marketing, even customer support full-time. So you have to actually research what skills I can do with my phone. And I personally like to encourage people to start with what they have, because some people will say, I'll start when I get a laptop. And do you think you will actually get that laptop? Most people would not, because even in the next 6 months, you keep saying, I'll start when I get a laptop, and you will never start. But when you start and you know that I have these skills and the only thing stopping my potential is a laptop, you will definitely get it. The same way I started. I started with my mobile phone, and when it was time for me to have an interview, I usually rent a laptop in cafes and I had interviews. And I ended up getting the motivation to get a laptop myself. So nobody who does not, if you don't have enough money, why would you go and spend money to get a laptop? You will just keep procrastinating that I'm going to get a laptop. How can I apply to the academy to learn a skill? Our waitlist link is tagged here, so you can just use the waitlist link to join the group, and then we are going to start registration on July 1st with the discounted fee. And July is our last cohort that we are using the discounted fee that we have right now. Okay, so we're not certain when she's going to come back. So let's keep up. Cecilia, please keep trying to reach her. If you're going to call her offline, call her so we can know what the problem is. Now, let's talk about how you can actually get a remote job in 90 days. I'm going to turn on my camera so I focus on this. How are you going to get a remote job in 90 days? You've heard all the things we've said in this particular workshop. Sadly, Coach Goodluck had a lot of things that she could have shared with you guys if her network wasn't a mess, but hopefully she's able to rectify it. Now, it's time for you to apply what you've heard. It's time for real strategy, the one that is built on visibility, positioning, and proof. So, this is your step by step plan. But this is the truth. This is the honest truth with anyone who wants to learn anything, including myself. A lot of people are hearing me right now, but I'm not sure how many people are actually listening To hear someone and to listen to the person, those are completely different things. And that's exactly how life works. People are going to attend workshops out of desperation. People will say, no one is teaching us this. But the truth is that knowledge is everywhere. The problem is your lack of the right execution. And you need to understand what I just said. Now, if you want to get a remote job in 90 days, the old way is not enough anymore. Millions of people are still doing this. They apply to jobs, they submit their CV, and they wait. It still works. It works for some persons, and that's sometimes. But the people that are landing consistent remote opportunities, they are doing something different. They are using the traditional path. They apply, they submit. This is the traditional part: apply, submit, wait, and hope. Now, the people that are doing the new parts, they are applying, they are positioning, they are using visibility, and they are using proof. Now, visibility is the new currency. If you open any post on TikTok that has or Instagram that has a very viral reach, you're going to notice that businesses are in the comment section. This happens a lot on TikTok. Brands are in the comment section. Brands are busy posting comments, laughing on social media. Nobody's waiting for emails anymore. Nobody's sitting in offices hoping to be noticed. You see people in the comment section pitching themselves. People are showing up where attention already exists. You don't get remote jobs by applying everywhere. You get them by becoming visible. You get them by being useful. You get them by being well positioned before you even apply. Now you need to stop in your phase 1 to phase 7. After you've in your phase 1 to phase 7, this is literally the roadmap that you need to secure that role. Before you apply anywhere, you need direction. Confusion is like the fastest way that you can get ignored. I've said this so many times, but you need to pick one field and become really good at it. Number two, you need to fix your LinkedIn. If LinkedIn is not working for you, fix other social media platform: TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Twitter. We have a lot. Fix it with a very good headline. I gave an example here: aspiring virtual assistant open to remote opportunities. This is for people that are still learning and they are not yet ready to get a job. Remember, this is what I said. I said phase 1, they want a 7. This particular LinkedIn heading should change when you are now ready to get a job. It should no longer carry aspiring virtual assistant, but you need to speak what you want into existence. If you're a social media manager, talk about growth social media manager. You can say growth social media manager, growing your account from 0 to 1,000 in so days. You want to speak on, should I say the word manifest what you want to be on your profile. You need to treat LinkedIn as your first impression. If your profile is unclear, people will scroll and pass you, and they will make it impossible for you to ignore. I know I use the word LinkedIn a lot, but you need to also know that this is applicable to other social media platforms. Now, you need to study real jobs in your field, not random courses. I already showed you guys an example. But I need you to understand that that example I showed you where I went on Upwork, I need you to know that it's not only Upwork. These are remote job platforms. You can use LinkedIn jobs, you can use Indeed, you can use Remote OK, you can use We Work Remotely, and you can use Upwork. You are not applying to jobs on any of these platforms. You're studying them so that you understand exactly what you need. Now, you're going to review 10 to 15 job posts and ask what skills keep repeating. If you Google virtual assistant, what is one skill that they keep repeating and say they need virtual assistant in social field? What does this role do daily? This is how you're going to know the roles and the tools that you need to focus on, and you can use this to build a mock-up portfolio. Example, go on Upwork. If you're an email marketer, search for open jobs in email marketing and see what they keep saying they want email marketers to do. Now you carry that and you use that to build a mock-up portfolio. So you're not applying yet. You're learning how the job market actually thinks before, and you use that to build your mock-up portfolio. Okay, so before I proceed, I want to emphasize on joining the waitlist group. And I need you to know that if you don't join the waitlist group for Visa July registration, you're not going to get the discounted fee that we usually give, because those are the people that get the discounted fee early before you end up not getting access to the early birds. And like I said, our July cohort is our last cohort with that fee. Now, let's talk about building proof. So far, so good. You need to stop saying I want a job. You need to start showing I can do the job. Do you understand this? Because I feel like you guys need to actually hear this properly. Stop saying I want a job and start showing that you can do it. Some person's portfolio is carrying I want a job, I want a job. Give me the job. This is why you should give me the job and education experience. You need to start showing why you can do it. First of all, you can create a portfolio using Canva. This is for beginners. Create a simple 1 to 6 page portfolio showcasing your skills and your sample work. I've told you guys so many times how you can get a sample job. You can use this, study real jobs, use this to create a sample job and go and put it into your portfolio. Next, you can store everything you create in an organized shareable folder on Google Drive. You can also use Notion to build a simple page with your about section, your skills, and sample work. If you don't want to use Canva for your portfolio, you can use Notion. And then the sample work, you can put things for virtual assistant. You can put things like maybe mock email inbox, how you organize an email inbox, content calendar, how you read content calendar, response script, or just admin workflow. You can put all of that in that sample work so that they will see what you are actually capable of doing. Your phase 4, you want to enter the visibility mode. If you check the top of this, it actually has the days that I recommend you do these things. So this is just like a roadmap. So you want to enter the visibility mode. On LinkedIn, you want to post 2 to 5 times per week. If you cannot meet up to 5 times, at least post 2 times a week. This is not just LinkedIn, this is Instagram, this is TikTok, this is all social media platforms. We are talking about visibility. You have to show yourself. You want to post what you are learning or what you're very good at. You want to post the tools you discovered and how to use them. For example, you can go and post For example, you can go and post on LinkedIn, you can post these are what you're learning or what you're very good at. This was how I was able to for let's say social media marketer, you can say this was how I was able to market a brand using $28, and this was how many customers we got so far. You can post tools you discovered and how to use them. If you're a social media marketer, these are some tools I just discovered. Do you know you can use so tool? Now you can also post things like I'm giving you guys content ideas. You can post mistakes founders or CEOs should avoid. For example, you can personalize this to fit your field. You can say avoid this mistake as a business owner handling email newsletters. This is for someone that is in the email marketing field. If you're an email marketer, you can draft content on these are some mistakes I think you should avoid as a business owner who is handling email newsletters. These are different contents that will help you. If you run a small brand, you need an email marketer, and this is why. This is content that are intentional, they are powerful, and they will make small business owners will see that content and say, okay, I actually do need an email marketer, and they're going to reach out to you. That is literally how visibility works. And Coach Goodluck was previously talking about how visibility has helped her, and she's now getting inquiries from businesses instead of her reaching out to them. On a platform like Upwork, you can start applying to 1 to 3 jobs per day, depending on how much connect you can afford. You can use entry level roles only and roles in your fields. Don't apply to jobs that have a lot of applicants already. Let's go on Upwork. Let me show you what I mean by that. We now have an AI automation field on Upwork as well. That's nice. Yikes. I thought I did a login. Yikes. You're shitting me. Okay, so let's take a look at examples. What was I telling you? I said don't apply to jobs that have a lot of applicants already. If you go on a platform like Upwork, for this one that was posted 9 hours ago, and you see that they have over 20 to 50 applicants already, this is a red flag. For someone who is new, you definitely don't want to apply to a job like that, okay? You want to focus on your skills, fields, and what your Upwork profile says. Make sure that your cover letter attacks what the job is saying they want to hire. For example, this job posting says they run a small consulting firm that works with therapists, authors, and speakers in the wellness and mental health space. They are also looking to sell an online course on the site. So you want to tell them how they can sell an online course. You can start applying by saying, this is how you can sell an online course on the site. This is how you can do this. Do you understand? So that's you attacking what is in the job posting using your cover letter. You don't need to apply to 50 applications. Just be consistent and targeted. Cecilia, I don't understand. What do you mean by share my screen? Are you telling me all this while I've been talking? Yeah, I haven't been seeing my screen. Okay, guys, don't worry. I'm going to answer questions when we are done. So, like I said, there are jobs on Upwork that have so many applications. Like this one has 20 to 50 applications. These are jobs that you should never apply to. Now, you need to go direct. Stop waiting. It's time for you to pitch yourself. I said go direct, stop waiting and start pitching yourself. We have the LinkedIn slash social media outreach, we have freelance platforms. I'm just going to, because you guys were not seeing my screen and I had absolutely no idea. I'm sorry about that. I wasn't told that my screen wasn't being shared. So we were talking about how to get remote jobs in 90 days, and I had the slide open my own way, and I'm going to share the slide for you guys later on for free. Don't worry. I don't know how I'm going to share this. You know what? In order for me to share this slide, I have to share it in the Visavi Academy waitlist group. I'm going to just send it as a document. So join the Visavi Academy waitlist group. Yep. So I'm going to share it later on. I've already discussed everything here. This is where I was, which I was talking about Upwork. Start applying, and you're going to get 1 to 3 jobs per day, entry level roles and roles in your field. And I told you don't apply to Upwork jobs that have more than 20 to 50 proposals. Now let's talk about going direct and time to stop pitching. You can do things like LinkedIn slash social media outreach. You can also use freelance platform to apply for jobs. If you've built your LinkedIn profile, you need to stop waiting and start reaching out. You need to use things like LinkedIn outreach. You need to go out and start reaching out to founders, small business owners, startups. You don't want to send generic messages. Spend at least 10 to 15 minutes studying the business first. Go through their website, check their social media, look at their reviews, look for gaps, then send a message highlighting what you think you can do for the brand. So this is how you don't need to sound. Number one, don't go and tell them, hi, I'm currently building my experience as a virtual assistant. I'd love to support your business. That is weak, and everybody else sounds like that. The business owner does not care that you're building your experience. Instead, they are thinking, how does this help me? How does it help me that you're building your experience? People are very selfish, and all we are caring about is how you are actually beneficial to us. Please let me know if you can see my screen now. Can you guys see my screen now? Okay, so this is a powerful message, or should I say, a cover letter that you can send to brands or businesses. This particular message is for this particular example. I used email marketing. I said, "Hi, Sarah." Let's say the business owner, her name is Sarah. Hi, Sarah. I recently signed up for your newsletter because I wanted to understand your customer journey. I noticed I haven't received a follow up sequence after signing up. Most brands use welcome email sequences to nurture leads and increase conversions. I'm an email marketer, and one thing I would love to help with is creating a simple email system that keeps your subscribers engaged and drive more sales. Even a 3 email welcome sequence can make a significant difference in how your new subscribers experience your brand. I thought I'll share these observations because I genuinely enjoy exploring your business. This is why I said you need to spend 10 to 15 minutes studying the business. So when you're going to pitch yourself to them, it's a strong message. Now, Sarah is going to see this message and she's going to be like, oh, that's true. We haven't been sending out emails to our customers. And that's going to be one key reason why Sarah would say, let's can we talk? Can we talk more? Can we have an interview? That's how pitching actually works. So you see the difference. You're no longer telling them, please give me a job. You're now telling them, I understand your business, I spotted an opportunity, and I already have ideas that could help you. That immediately separates you from 95% of applicants. So a social media manager could do the same thing. They can say something like, I noticed your Instagram reels have 10,000 views, but there are not many call to actions or CTA directing viewers to your product. I have a few ideas that can help you convert some of that engagement into sales. I'm giving you guys different case scenarios and different examples. A virtual assistant could say, I notice customers are asking similar questions repeatedly in your comment section. Creating a simple FAQ system and response process could save your team a lot of time, and that is what I can help you do. So, this is exactly what positioning looks like. You stop approaching businesses as a job seeker and you start approaching them as a problem solver. There is nobody who has a problem and don't want to hire a problem solver. So, when you stop seeing yourself as someone who is job seeking and you see yourself as someone who can help a business solve a problem, you stand a higher chance to get in that role. Businesses hire problem solvers much faster than they hire people who are just simply looking for work. So once again, this is your 90-day roadmap. Day 1 to 7, pick one role, like I always say, fix your LinkedIn and get clear on who you are, on who what you want to offer. Day 7 to 25, research real job posts, map the skill market demands. Day 25 to 45, you want to build proof, portfolio samples and your Notion page if you want that. Day 45 to 60, you want to post on LinkedIn, apply on Upwork consistently. And day 60 to 90, you want to reach out to founders consistently. Now, this is the final truth. You're not going to get a remote job by applying everywhere. You're going to get a remote job by becoming visible, by becoming useful, and by being positioned before you even apply. Knowledge is not your problem anymore, execution is your problem. So the plan is very clear. The phases are mapped. It is now your move, and you need to start today. So, like I said, we're going to shut down by exactly 10 p.m., and the time is 10 p.m. And I want to thank you guys for joining the workshop. It's been an amazing conversation. So we are going to take some questions. Okay, I'm going to start taking some questions real quick. We have a particular question that says, how is the perfect way to submit our cover letter? Is it better to save it as a PDF or send it as a write-up and just attach our CV? It depends on the platform you're submitting it. If you're submitting it through email, you want to send it as the email body, which is the write-up, and attach your CV and portfolio to it. Upwork as well, you're submitting as a write-up. If they ask you on LinkedIn to submit it as a PDF, you do that. If they say submit it as a write-up, you do that. So it depends on how you actually submit it, the platform you're using. But it's mostly advisable to write it like a pitch, like I just showed you guys exactly how to write a good cover letter or pitching. This is the same strategy you want to use when you're pitching. Just research the job posting and write something very strong and compelling that will make them want to actually work with you. Okay. Let me take more questions. What is the time for the training for July waitlist? Because I normally come back from work in the evening. Our training is self-paced. It's not a training that it's not a live training where if you don't join at a certain time, you're going to miss out because we have a lot of international students, like I posted today on my socials. So we don't have a training time where we say, okay, by 1 o'clock. No, we release our training by 1 p.m. But even if you want to take the class by 4 p.m., 6 p.m., whatever time, you're starting from the beginning because it's we use an e-learning platform and everything is already there on the platform. So it's self-paced. Can we create portfolio for both customer support and virtual assistant, for example? Yes, you can do that. Is this a beginner class? Our training is a beginner class, but if you mean this workshop, this is a workshop, it's not a class. While applying for a remote job, is it okay to also attach your on-site customer service experience? Yes, it's very much okay to do that. It's even going to give them maybe like an insight that this person has dealt with customers one-on-one. I'm a customer service representative and administrative assistant. My question is, do I make my CV on customer service rep and strategically input administrative assistant, or do I do two CVs? If you're a customer service rep, you'd make a customer service rep CV. If you're an admin assistant, you make an admin assistant CV. Is it only premium users that apply for jobs on LinkedIn? No, it's not only premium users. As long as you can see the job section, there's a job section on LinkedIn. If you can see that, you can apply for jobs. Is the Card Remit a free app and is it applicable to Upwork? Yes, Card Remit is obviously free. You can download it, you can sign up, and you can use it. And yes, you can also use the account details to receive payments on Upwork. Our registration fee, the discounted fee is 25,000 and it takes you for 6 weeks of training, 6 months training access as well, which is the recording and the materials, and 1 year mentorship. And that fee is going to expire in July. Someone said, I'm still confused about virtual assistant and executive assistant. Virtual assistant, executive assistant is a niche under virtual assistant. Virtual assistant is broad. So if you're an executive assistant, the word, what is the meaning of the word executive? You're working with executive, maybe business owners, founders, and so on to help them do maybe administrative tasks or whatever it is that they put in their job posting. For the laptop, what specification is required? You can buy a good laptop that has a good gig and maybe Core i5 from Core i5 with a good storage space. For attachment of your CV to your cover letter, is it advisable to send as PDF or Google Docs? You can send it as a PDF instead. Because you might, some people will go and send it as Google documents now, and now somebody will not actually see, will not be able to actually like open the Google document because they'll say request access. People do that a lot, especially newbies. So send it as PDF. How do I attach what I have worked on as a customer support that worked in a company, but I have no, okay, I've responded to this question before. Okay, let me see. What skill do you think is best to start with a phone? You can just research that. I don't like giving people an actual skill, but tomorrow I'm posting a video on my social media page talking about this. So just look on my Instagram and TikTok by 5 or and by 3 to 5 p.m. I'll post a video talking about the skills that is best for you to start with a phone. Can we start building our portfolio now? Stephanie, Shebi is this same workshop that I told you people that some people are hearing me, but they are not listening. And I wasn't joking because I've been talking since that these are the things you need to do. First of all, pick the skill, understand the skill very well, then go and search for jobs. And you want to start building portfolio now. Well, me, I don't tired to talk because I feel like some people literally hear, but they don't listen. How do I buy connect on Upwork? You can just Google this question, or you can even use YouTube to learn this because this is a whole procedure that might take us two more hours. Which kind of laptop is good for getting a job? If you have a good laptop, a Core i5 laptop, Windows, something that opens really fast, you don't have an issue. Thank you. Someone said thank you to Visa the Academy team. Is it better to attach your CV to your cover letter as PDF or link from? I've already responded to this. Has payment for Visa-V registration commenced? No, our payment starts July 1st, and people in the waitlist group are going to get the discounted fee. Does Visa-V have a physical office? No, we don't have a physical office. We are online, and it's a virtual assistant training. Is the class over? Yes, we are over. This is a workshop, and for those people who missed the workshop, you can always come back and rewatch the video later on. So I'm done answering all the questions that are available in the comment section. And if you guys want to know more, don't forget to join our wait list that is pinned to this particular post, because registration is starting soon. And most of the questions you're asking here, like how do I buy Connect on Upwork, how do I set up my LinkedIn, all of this, they are going to be taught in our training. So that's why I said it's always good to follow a specialized plan and a specialized training. And once again, I want to thank all the people who came out to speak. Thank you so much, Kiki. Thank you so much, Good Luck. I know you had so much to share, but network just ended up ruining every single thing. And thank you for actually joining. And this particular roadmap that I have here, which is this particular roadmap on how to actually get a remote job in 90 days, it's going to be shared in the waitlist group. So make sure to join the waitlist group by clicking the link I shared. All right. Do you specialize niche teachings in Visavi? Yes, we specialize niche teachings. We have email marketing niche, we have social media marketing, we have social media itself, virtual assistant, and customer support. So these are different niches that we actually specialize in inside the training, the virtual assistant training. So you're getting experience in different fields. I'm using an iPhone 12, 256 gigabyte. Can I use it to start as a newbie, then later get a laptop once I start getting paid? The truth is that phone doesn't work the same way as a laptop, and most employers that are looking to hire people, they will most likely not hire someone who is using a phone because they don't take you serious, except you want to do things that only a phone can be done. And tomorrow, like I said, I'm posting a video on the particular fields that you can actually use your phone to work with. And don't forget to join the wait list. And we're done with this. And I want to thank you guys again for joining. And Cecilia, please make sure to do that whole clapping effect for the coaches that were able to share their knowledge with us today. All right. Do have a good night, everyone. Whew, that was fun.